Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. This is game 2 of a best of 3 series in the lower bracket of the SLTV Pro Series Season 11. We are SLTV. I am MoreRagePlz, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, joined by EGAD. Game 1, we saw Scary Faces trade their Medusa 1 position farm for a Wraith King 1 position farm from DT and Medusa. Certainly the dominant of the two. Some good play from their stand-in for Delirium on the Faceless Void as well. They'll open up once again with a Broodmother and a Troll ban for Scary Faces. So Troll Warlord, definitely not something they want to see. Omni Knight bans and the Slark bans come out from DT. What do you expect in terms of the change of strategy from DT in this game too, EGAD?
Probably Vengeful Spirit, Skywrath,
yeah,
and with Omni ban, I mean Medusa is not really the best option, but Medusa worked well for them, and honestly, why not just run it again? Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. So either way, I expect DT to get a little bit more of a scaling lineup into the late game. They had a timing window to hit, and in fact Scary Faces took them out within that timing window. So yeah, they picked up a lot of blink daggers. They even picked up one on their Viper, and they just weren't able to find solo pickoffs, as Scary Faces, as you mentioned, playing it very disciplined. A lot of good movement from them, sitting back, letting their Medusa farm, and eventually just overtaking the game with the 5-man death ball, having state 21 positioned very defensively with the blink dagger on the Omni Knight. So things look really good in game 1 for Scary Faces. We'll see if they can translate that into a game 2 win, or if DT can take this to a deciding game 3.
So really, they're still thinking about this. Like, the Vengeful Spirit's there, but Brew also was banned last game too. So okay, they go for the strong initiation tool and the Brew, try to get an early blink, and I mean just be really annoying. But you know, the cast time on the Brew split was pretty big, and oh god, DT pick up the Skywrath and the Vengeful, so silence, swap, stuns galore. Jeez.
Yeah, very nice opening 1-2 combo from DT. You definitely called it. Venge allowed to slip through that first phase of bans, as Scary Faces not wanting to play the Troll Warlord, and they will pick up a very strong support combo. This does narrow their ability to vary the draft thus far, or hereafter I should say, with only being able to pick up cores unless they throw one of these in a core roll, which is super unlikely. So they will allow Scary Faces to ban out some of the things they don't want to see coupled with these two heroes. Probably expect a Void ban here, or pick up from Scary Faces, as the Void Skywrath combo is still pretty scary. Definitely not as popular as it once was, but still a pretty potent combo.
Yeah, so they pick up a Pudge now too. That's even weirder. I don't know. That's cool, I guess. You know, there's an NA Dota team called Leviathan, and Chibi Shanks plays Pudge quite a bit, and he'll do some weird hard pull camp from mid and just pull a complete wave from that. This is interesting already that they pick Pudge. I mean, he'll make quick work of the sports. Don't get me wrong, if he finds any kind of lead. But if he doesn't, Pudge kind of just feels a little meh.
Yeah, this is something Scary Faces has run quite often, actually, and they ran Eknard on it in the 4 position the last time I saw it, and it did work to great effect, actually, even though it doesn't seem that good on paper, and it has been banned out against them from a couple of teams. So they did allow it to slip through here, maybe not doing too much of their homework for DT, and they'll pick up the Putka. They'll ban out the Void, as I mentioned, as well as the DP, who works pretty well with the concussive shot, as well as the swap from the Vengeful, allowing her to close in on range.
Banning Lena Earthshaker too, that's weird. I mean, just take out more supports, I guess. But
they ran the
get rid of the
Lena
Witch
Pudge,
Doctor though.
So. Yeah,
okay.
they ran the Lena Pudge, so maybe, I mean, yeah, hook into a Light Strike Array is pretty darn good. Usually a kill most of the time, but yeah, I'm not sure it's worth the ban at this point, especially with the Earthshaker as well. The Earthshaker would have been good if they were allowed to pick up the Void. Of course, having that Fissure to counter-initiate into the Chronosphere is pretty good, but the Void is banned out now, so, I mean, maybe we'll see what these bans are indicative of after the pickups from DT. But yeah, I don't really understand the Lena Earthshaker ban. The Earthshaker's a nice ban, but the Lena ban at this point is a little, I guess it's a respect ban of sorts. But yeah, they can really only pick up supports. They're still going to need a 1 position for Scary Faces, however, and DT kind of ignoring that at the time being.
I mean, they already have like 2 of the best supports in the game, so they could just go for like Void and or Medusa again. I mean, like these supports with Medusa's pretty good. Who else? Who else? Thinking. It's too early in the morning to be thinking. I think just Void, or even this could set up for like Dro too. Dro Aura with Vengeful is pretty good. And then try to sneak, or like I was thinking like they could sneak in like a Dro Visage, but then again, you know, Scary Face could steal it. But they would go for the Jug instead. Juggernaut's really, really good.
Yeah, Jug is good in this patch for sure with that increase to his agility as well as the buff to his base attack time a patch ago, but he's not the most ideal target to hook in. You can instantly Omni Slash before you get off to Dismember, and if Pudge hooks him into isolation, he will bring down the Pudge low, if not kill him. One thing though, if this Pudge is able to get a blink up, Dismember does pierce through that Blade Fury, so it is nice to keep him in place. Blade Fury does do less DPS than actual your right clicks later on into the game, so it's not the scariest thing to have to dismember into. Brewmaster also deals fairly well with Juggernaut having the Brewlings for the Omni Slash to bounce around, but Jug certainly a strong hero. Also, as you mentioned, the Vengeful Aura is there. They'll have the Healing Ward and the Wave of Terror, so this will allow them to accelerate their Roshan killing ability quite a bit, so DT will be able to sneak a Rosh if they find a pick off or even smoke into it at any point during the game.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing to watch out for, but Pudge also is pretty good at countering out that Roshan attempt. Just get the high ground or just hook away randomly.
Yeah.
And see, the supports, I mean, Scary Face, are they going to go for... I don't think they're going to... Okay, I was like, are they going to go for the Doctor? Are they going to go for Sand King? But they go for the Dazzle instead. And Dazzle here with Pudge just means he can run away with the Shallow Grave. Brewmaster also could, after a split, if he's close to death, just get a Shallow Grave as well. The Heal and Weave are pretty strong.
Yeah, the physical damage is pretty good against the Juggernaut. The Shallow Grave will allow the Brew to get the split off more often than not, and they're definitely going to rely on that pretty heavily to have good team fight engagements, but Dazzle, just a strong pickup overall. Also pretty good versus the Mystic Flare, but if he does get silenced up, he's going to be just a big squishy piece of pizza for DT. So we'll see what they couple him with in terms of the other support combo. There's still the AA here, and the AA is pretty good into the healing ward of the Juggernaut, but we'll see what DT looks around at their lineup with. Still looking for a couple cores, and they pick up the Storm.
Storm mid here. I mean, if he gets an early Orchids, that's gonna like destroy Scary Faces really hard. Brewmaster and Dazzle won't be able to do anything. He has no problem dodging hooks. His only real problem is he might need a Lincoln Sphere this game, but that's something to worry about if he's behind.
Yeah, definitely so. Early Orchid would put a huge wrench into the plans of Scary Faces here. Brewmaster not too good versus Silence. There's already the Ancient Seal on the side of DT, so they'll have lots of ways to deal with this Brew if the Storm does get up, as you mentioned, that early Orchid. Also, even if he does get hooked and isn't able to dodge that, he can just ball Lightning away more often than not. So Storm Spirit going to probably have mostly free reign in this one. They will pick up the Medusa once again for Quista on Scary Faces here. So interesting pickup from them. There isn't the most burst from DT as you saw last game, but they do have the Omni Slash as well in this one to supplement that Mystic Flare damage. So will be interesting to see if the Medusa can hit her stride as she was able to in game 1.
Alright, I mean, Shallow Grave of Medusa is pretty good. Centaur gets banned away. And follow it up, last ban, what are they going to get rid of? I mean, they need an offlane from Scary Faces, and DT need an offlane as well, so take away the Tidehunter? No, they get rid of the Axe instead. Maybe they're looking for Brood? No, Brood's been banned, never mind. Huh.
Tidehunter is pretty damn good against Medusa because she generally doesn't build into BKP. We saw the Omni Knight banned out in the first phase. So yeah, Tidehunter would definitely be a nice pick for DT. Also a tanky target, so not an ideal target to hook in. Doesn't take too much damage from that physical nuke from the Dazzle as well. Pretty tanky innately is that hero. So Tidehunter would be a very nice pickup for DT here. They have quite a bit of reserve time though, so they will have the ability to think about it. They could go back for a Nyx Assassin once again if that is the choice from them, but the roam wasn't very strong last game, so probably won't be the choice. He is good versus Medusa, but really didn't see that one.
They have a stand-in now, don't they? Yeah, one of the players is gone.
Yeah, so yeah, they do have a stand-in for the side of DT. That's one of their supports. Breezy still in the off lane, General in the mid, Arc on
Mag off lane. Just give the cleave to Juggernaut. Nah, it's just me thinking really hard.
I think the Tide is the best choice here.
Probably.
But the Void being banned out as well, even the Troll being banned out. Yeah, Tide would be a very nice addition to their squad. 10 seconds left, so they'll be making their decision impending very soon here. And Scary Faces, as you mentioned, probably going to have to round out their lineup with an offlaner, unless they put the Pudge in the mid and the Brew in the offlane, in which case they can pick up...
what the hell? Jug off lane and Meepo? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible laning decision. The Blade Dance value point is very good now.
Medusa, like, late game split shot's gonna crap on Meepo, but Meepo can snowball so freaking early. Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. Once he has Blink, Hex, and you're just done for. So
Pudge is pretty good versus Meepo though. You just fire a hook.
You're seeing a lot of Meepo, yeah.
Yeah, you fire a hook in the general direction of the Meepo. You'll probably grab one of them, and if you're able to isolate him and get a silence off or something before he's able to poof away, or the dismember for that matter, then that'll bode pretty well for your chances to take him down. So very interesting pickup, and the ET is actually going to be picked up here for.
Okay. Yeah, Meepo has a lot of high armor. Juggernaut has some decent armor, and I mean, late game just means the Medusa is going to be so freaking strong.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the ET. The natural order is going to crap on a lot of these heroes, but Juggernaut still can scale fairly well, and the Storm Spirit with the Meepo, I feel like they do have the potential to take this late game for DT, which they did not in game 1, but the Elder Titan certainly, as you mentioned, is the trump card for Scary Faces, so if they're able to keep this Dusa up, looking very scary once again. But yeah, the Storm, I think it's going to be centered mostly around the Storm Spirit for DT here. If General is able to get up that early Orchid, it's going to be very scary for Scary Faces.
Yeah, looks like we're good to go for this game with supports picked up from DT. I don't know. I like Scary Faces draft more. The ET pick was really nice to round up their lineup. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out for them. 1-0 is your score at the top of the screen, as you see, guys, for Scary Faces. So they are looking to close out the series here. Scary Faces on the Radiant side. Stand in Delirium. Going to go solo towards the off lane on the Elder Titan. Quista once again in the safe lane on the Medusa. Eknart playing up that 4-position Pudge that I've seen him play all too often. Shadowway picking up the Dazzle in the 5. And finally, in the mid, State 21 on his Brewmaster.
And from the DT side, we got Senra, the stand-in for DT, playing the Meepo. Down bot, Arc will be most likely, I believe, soloing off lane on that the Juggernaut. Breezy will be supporting up, roaming around just a bit. Amba as well, doing the same thing on the Vengeful Spirit. And General will be up top, looking to be the 1-position Storm Spirit here in the top lane. They pulled up some tangos, they gave him a Null Talisman. I guess Meepo can just farm mid till 3, then put a Meepo in the jungle and just do some poof mechanics.
Yeah.
And this is weird.
Yeah, if you want to see a Meepo clinic, guys, VODs up from yesterday, BBC's matchup against Moscow 5 International. Game 1, Meepo, Weehaw Meepo, of course, actually wrecking face. Arc looks like he will be accompanied by the supports in an aggressive tri-lane, and they will leave General solo safe versus the Elder Titan. I do worry now for Delirium's ability to find farm. He will be able to find quite a bit 1v1 against this Storm, and getting that Elder Titan in with the levels in natural order up soon will be really detrimental to DT's ability to fight at least as 5 earlier on. But we'll see how this decision works out for them. Definitely Vengeful plus a Juggernaut strong in its own right, and you add the Skywrath to the fray, it's going to be a strong, aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah. All right. This is weird. Jeez. Like, but Hook destroys this lane. Like, you hit the Skywrath, you hit the Vengeful. Like, you are finding a kill very easily. So we'll see. I mean, especially if it hits Amba, like the damage coming through is gonna be insane. So.
Yeah, and the Eknart always runs this in the defensive tri-lane. The Radiant safe lane is so good for Pudge in a support role, as you mentioned. If he finds a hook here, it's pretty much going to spell doom for any of the heroes from DT. Arc will have the Blade Fury, so perhaps he's the one to get out and survive with that magical immunity. He's already opted for a point in that, but yeah, either of the supports getting hooked in will be dead, no doubt. So we do have a quick pause, but I'm going to have an unpause here. Mid lane matchup looks a little bit good for State 21 until Senra is able to get up a few of his meepos with the Divided We Stand. But until then, State 21 should have a good time with the Drunken Brawler and the ability to clap through. Concussive Shot going to go out onto Quista bottom lane. Blade Fury is there, and the Magic Missile. This may be your first blood. Quista going down early. Eknart not able to hook, and it's just short of Arc there as he retreats out. Nice nuke, though, from the Shadow Wave. Arc, though, with the movement speed, will be able to walk back. Shadow Wave not able to cancel up that salve, and 1-0 is your score in this aggressive tri-lane. Going the way of DT. Senra rotating a meepo to the bottom lane. He's going to find Eknart here, and he will be able to cancel up that clarity.
I mean, alright, even with the change to the 1,000 range on the hook, I was surprised that didn't hit. But, I mean, he didn't hook in time, he didn't respond to hooking out the Medusa or anything. I don't know what's going on there, but well played by DT. And just getting a quick, easy kill. There's no mana shield available either for the Medusa, so that just made Chuck Nerd out much easier. She doesn't have the highest base health pool either, so well played, well played.
Yeah, 1v1 laid standard build from General. He's going to put 2 points into the overload, and he will just spam out that first level of the Static Remnant. Only 70 mana needed there. He's been harassing out Delirium quite well. Delirium picked up a Magic Stick from the side shop, however, and will be a little bit more survivable. State 21 being aggressed upon by the mid by Anba, as well as the Skywrath Mage here on the Vengeful. He is playing fairly defensively, though. They do know they are missing from the defensive try, and State 21 should be just fine for the time being. Breezy sticking around, but they will retreat back to the safe lane. Eknart is farming a pulley here and could be a little bit susceptible to a gank, but not sure that they have the kill potential on this Pudge. Pretty tanky early on, 625 base HP pool.
And later on, too, the Fleshy is going to be pretty nice if you can find some of those early kills, get some extra strength in there, be nice. Already we see Senra level 4 stacking up the jungle just a bit, stacking a hard camp, and I believe he'll just be looking to do that for a very long time. So
yeah, definitely so. Also doing fairly well in the mid lane. 11 last hits to the 13 of the Brewmaster, so definitely nothing to scoff at for this meeple, and as you mentioned, already investing into his economy henceforth. And they will push up the bot lane a bit with Quista, Eknart, and Shadowway. Doesn't look like they will be able to find much underneath the tower, however. No, not at all. I mean, they keep harassing, but not really too much they can do afterwards. Like, that Mystic Stake does quite a bit of damage. There's gonna be tangos pulled to him and such. Like, he's gonna be fine. Unless they find a hook. Oh, no, okay. Weird. Yeah, a little bit short on that one. General is going to zone out Delirium in the top lane quite a bit. He's found his level 5. Delirium almost found his level 5 as well. Elder Titan, one of these heroes, doesn't rely too much on finding gold. More needs the levels, but we'll put 2 points into the Spirit for now. Should look to perhaps continue to max out that natural order here after. Does have the value point in Echo Stomp as well. He'll find a bounty rune in the top lane, and the invisibility rune will be found by Eknart in the bottom lane. The sentry is going to get dropped, though. He's going to start rotting, and he will get Blaze Fury, but the Shadow Wave is there. Mystic Snake is there as well. The Gray is going to keep him up for the time being. Arc actually going to look to back off. The hook is there onto Breezy, and he will get denied to the rot. Huge plays from Eknart there.
Wow, that's the rot shallow grave combination. Holy crap, that's cool.
Doing quite a bit of damage, and they'll get a 2-0 in the bot lane. Pudge going down, but denying up the experience. General is going to look to put some harass into Delirium, but 777 HP at this point. The Elder Titans just fine. No ball lightning actually just picked up now from General, so he will have a little bit of kill potential, but he's going to need a bit more mana in order to do so. Arc's picked up his phase boots on the Juggernaut. Yeah, it's surprising that he didn't go for like Soul Ring first on the UT, but
I guess Tranquils is enough to be pretty much safe in lane. You know, you can rest down just a bit, go back, reset Tranquils. That's a tri-stack already in the hard camp here for Senra, as he's been microing the Meepo pretty well. So he's looking to set up for a pretty decent mid game with the farm that he's gonna be picking up from that. And man, I don't know. I doubted this Budge pick quite a bit, but I guess after that last play, it looks okay in certain situations.
It's something they run quite often. Magic Missile Ancient Seal goes out onto State 21, but TP's in from Shadowway are going to back them off, and it's just going to be canceled at this point. They're going to look to go in on Arc, knowing that his supports are missing, but he's playing fairly defensively. Quista farming very well now, 20 CS on the Medusa, but 36 to his laning equivalent in general, and the ET in that lane only picking up 13. So as you mentioned, that early Orchid is a definite possibility for the Storm Spirit, who's already finished up his Treads bottle and started with a Null Talisman.
Yeah, it should be early Orchid for him. There's literally nothing else that you'd ever really want to go first, unless you somehow farmed up like a Mystic Staff or something like that. But yeah, early Orchid just on Panda, just about everybody on this team.
Yeah,
so
it's just a very good item overall on Storm Spirit. Gives him the regen, of course, the Soul Burn, very good, as well as the Silence, and he's able to jump in and have a lot of solo pick potential. Arc's going to find out Shadow 8 here with the Blade Fury Ancient Seal, and they'll slow him down. He will be able to get the Grave off with the Magic Stick charges, and they're going to have to back off. Eknard not in position, however. Quista,
yeah, he got it. Oh, the ward!
Oh, the ward keeping up Breezy, but the Mystic Snake will bounce and kill him off. Very nicely played there. Quista gonna find a kill, and a great Magic Stick proc. Good patience from Dazzle. Mid lane, State 21 is gonna pop the Primal Split onto Amba. He'll get the Boulder Toss off. It'll be an easy kill on this Vengeful Spirit as he ticks down to the Immolation. He'll try and take out the Fire Remnant, but not gonna matter. Eknard actually rotated around with a smoke as well, but he will return to the bottom lane hereafter, and Breezy's TP'd up to the top lane with his utility 1-1-1 build on his Skywrath. Delirium not showing his face yet though, so very wise play from him thus far.
Yeah, don't overextend into a level 6 of the Storm Spirit. Don't want to get pulled back or anything like that. That last play down there, like that was man, well played by Shadow Wait. Like to bait that out so hard too. Like I would have definitely not been able to activate the stick in time, but good job up top with the TP. Whoa, I don't know what that TP was. I guess they thought Delirium was gonna get dove, but
yeah. They were encroaching upon him, but not willing to go underneath the tower. And he'll cancel the TP once again. But yeah, as you mentioned, two very nice plays from Shadowway. One in the river on the Pudge, and then that one underneath their own tier 1. And being very patient with the stick and getting off the grave once again. That value point in Shallow Grave, I should say, has really paid dividends for him thus far.
Yep. Very good ability. We're going to see an Invis for State 21. We're going to see the Bounty Rune for Eknar. And they should give him a little bit more XP, honestly. Like, just give him level 6. That's when it gets really scary. But I can understand the fact that they want to get this Medusa rolling as fast as possible, because this Meepo is going to be insane. He also did the smoke trick, where you just smoke up and just keep poofing on top of the hard camp. So, yeah.
He'll finish off quite a few stacks. Yeah, definitely a good play there, not having to go back to base for HP anyways. After the start of this aggressive tri-lane, things are pretty underwhelming for them. Arc, not even level 6 quite yet. He's going to finish off his Wraithband perhaps and build into an Aquila here. But Quista is level 7 now with one more creep kill on this Medusa as they've rotated the supports out of lane. And certainly not anything to shake a stick at this point. 65 CS though on General, and he's level 8.5 on the Storm Spirit, so perhaps once he gets up that Orchid, that's the cue for some aggression from PT.
I mean, nothing really matters in this game besides the Meepo and the Medusa. Until then, the mid game is whatever, and then late game is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, very nice pickup for SFZ here. The Blink Dagger comes out for State 21, sub 10 minutes. And he'll be able to get some, yeah, definitely. He'll be able to get something done in the mid game here. Arc dropping very low bottom lane, but he'll be able to back off for the time being. Mystic Snake was on cooldown briefly apparently at the time. Eknard is going to rotate in a little bit of the intimidation factor, and they will put a lot of chip damage, into this tier 1. Bottom Arc is here with a healing ward hook, going to be just short from Eknard. Well shot though. Either way, they're going to back off Delirium out of this top lane for the time being. He's level 7 on the Elder Titan, has maxed out that Spirit, opting to bypass the ultimate.
Okay, yeah, you don't really take Earth Splitter too early on. Max Natural Order, Max Spirit, and then you take Earth Splitter and you're good to go.
Yeah, definitely so. And he's picked up the Soul Ring, as you mentioned, for that spam ability as well. Quista maybe met with some aggression bot lane. There are the two supports here once again in the form of Anba and Breezy, but the creep wave a little bit too far behind the tier 1 for SFZ to push forward, and they're going to continue to play fairly disciplined here. Stake 21 found an Invis rune, but he's just going to continue to farm up mid lane here as the Meepo farms the jungle, and Senra does have 65 CS, is 4th overall though on the net worth, surpassed by both the Dusa and the Brewmaster.
He didn't really get stacks in the jungle from the supports, so he's doing his best. Like, he got 1 stack that he made himself, which was the 4 stack of the hard camp there, but he definitely needed the supports to roam around a little bit and stack up camps for him. Like, Meepo needs a lot of farm to become pretty relevant, and I mean he's 2 items away from his Ags, so he'll have an extra Meepo online and he'll be good to go. But mid, I mean, he's forfeited it. This tier 1 looking to go down very soon. There is no glyph actually, so this could be actually going down right now.
Yeah, they do have the siege creep here as well, and they're going to drop it very low. Doesn't look like there'll be a denial attempt from the Skywrath Mage, and easy last tip for Stake 21. He's got 1100 gold in addition to his Blink Dagger, so can't pick up a set of treads, or complete a set of treads. And the drums will be picked up here from Quista. Interesting choice from him. Generally don't see this pickup when he plays on the Medusa. Usually builds into a little bit of a bigger item, but perhaps willing to fight early on here and take it to DT. General's picked up 1 Oblivion Staff. He's going to jump in on Delirium top lane. He'll pull him in with the zap. 1 more Overload Charge. Not going to be there. TPs are here from Eknard. He'll have to zip way the heck away from hook range, and Eknard still going to look to find it here. He's got the Dazzle as well.
They see Senra. Like, yeah, they see Senra right now. Hook. There it is. Stops the poof. That was really well timed. That was close. Oh.
I thought he might get away there. Either way, the Spirit is going to go out and try and find General, but he'll be able to zip if the Echo Stomp is channeled here. And General, yeah, he'll be just fine to walk out of radius there. Quista farming the jungle bottom lane, but it looks like tier 1 may be forfeit once again by DT. The Meeple will be up in 10 seconds, and they do have a couple of TPs, only the 2 TPs on General and Breezy at this point, so they probably won't be able to mount a defense anytime soon.
Alright, so we'll see. I mean, the glyph was just used after being refreshed, so you're correct on that. This should fall as well. I mean, just to give space to Meepo, really. Honestly, like, forfeit your tier 1s if you need to, maybe your tier 2, but eventually the Meepo will have Blink, and then he'll have extra Meepos, and then have a huge combo for poof, and the poof damage is actually ridiculous, so... Oh boy, I'm just interested to see how they handle mid game, because like the Bruce Spike is pretty good, Pudge is really good, and ET just he can overtake mid game pretty easily too.
Yeah, definitely so. And the Brewmaster actually going to opt for a Midas here. 13 minutes in. Interesting pickup from him. Yeah, I guess they are looking to translate this into the late game. Perhaps he builds into that Vlad's AC fighting Brewmaster build to buff up Quista as well. And the AC with the natural order is a pretty scary combination, so I'll expect him to build into that eventually. But yeah, 13-minute Midas, not the worst timing, especially considering he already had the blink before that. And grabbing a couple of those tier 1 last hits, boding well for the farm for State 21. He's topping the net worth chart actually at the moment.
Yeah, no one close enough to see him farming the under jungle. Interesting.
Yep. Radiant Vision does not see him, and Dire Vision does not see any of the Radiant heroes as well. State 21 going to rotate through though, and he is going to find him with a clap on 2. He's going to split instantly. He may be able to poof away though, but there's the boulder toss, and with the hook finishing him off, State 21 actually going to tick him down with that immolation. So definitely well worth the split there.
Yeah, I mean, this Meepo is not farming at all as well as he should be. Like, he needed to go to the jungle and have 1 Meepo in lane, like 2 Meepos in jungle, 1 in a safe lane, then he can just farm that, but not going anywhere near what he would like. Blink clap on an arc, force the spin in the runaway. He's got a haste, he's gonna be able to clap him down. Needs 1 more crit, but couldn't get it. But now Breezy, oh god, this is an even easier kill. Just run up with a haste, boom, there it is.
Yeah, when he TP'd alone, it was a little bit precarious. Jump forward from General, the blink. He's going to find Quista, though. Quista's still fairly tanky. Has run out of mana at this point, but we'll be able to just back out.
Whose branch is that? So just randomly dropped a branch there in the middle of the fight. Alright.
Find a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck, I guess. Either way. State 21, 15 magic stick charges on him. He's got 1,200 gold in addition to this Midas already. So that kill on the Scarab definitely helping him out there. Full Yasha is going to be impending now for the Medusa. And Quista looking fairly good in this mid game. He needs to drop something to pick that Yasha up, though. And he will do so.
I like the build. Like this is like the maximum movement speed that you can get until he gets Manta at least. But I mean, like no one's gonna escape him. Like he can run anybody down at this point, and give his team extra movement speed with the drums. I believe he gets max movement speed when he powers drums in phase. It's pretty close, like 511.
It definitely would be very close. Speaking of movement speed, Delirium picking up a Yule Scepter of his own. That's gonna be a very nice pickup for the setup into the Echo Stomp. He's got 2 levels in that Stomp as well, and that'll be very good against all of these heroes for DT. Perhaps General the only one with the ability to dodge that. If the Juggernaut gets off the Blade Fury, perhaps he will be able to as well. But either way, very good setup for him and just a generally good item for the Elder Titan. Mask of Madness now picked up for Arc, and that'll increase his effective DPS. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So interesting choice from him. Either way, it'll increase his effective DPS a lot, but he's only level 8 right now, and he's even lower than Delirium's offlane Elder Titan at this point, barely above
Found General.
When they found General, he'll be able to zip away the Earth Splitter just barely a second late there, unfortunately for them. The Earthbind, though, and the Magic Missile out onto Eknar, but there comes the Grave once again. He'll not have to be able to TP as the Earthbind does drop him, but jump in, clap, split from the Brewmaster. Boulder Toss out onto Anba. Earthbind's onto Shadowway. It looks like he'll be able to walk out just fine in the split. Not going to find much. Earthbind is going to whiff there from the Meepo, and Boulder Toss goes out onto Senra. He's dropping fairly low, but this Primal Split is going to expire here. Blink out from the Brewmaster, and they will have TPs in, however, from Quista. He doesn't have the Stone Gaze, though, as he uses the Mystic Snake first, and he's going to get sealed up before he's able to use it. Meepo trying to poof on him. He'll bring down Quista before he's able to get the Stone Gaze off. A little bit of a misplay from the Medusa. Swap back onto State 1, but a hook in onto Amba. The Shadow Wave will keep up State 21, and the Ball Lightning finishes him off. Echo Stomp will be there onto General, however. Senra very low. The Meepo drops to one last right click, and Dazzle will go down as well. But a big stapler into the face of the Skywrath Mage. Delirium brings him down. Oh, big chop from the Elder Titan. That'll finish off his Yule Scepter, and huge magic stick from them.
That was max weave minus armor right there. That was actually insane. He hit the Skywrath Mage for 450. He took out half the health of the Storm Spirit too, just simply by whacking away. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was level 3 natural order at the time, I believe, as well, if not level 4. He did pick up quite a few levels off those kills.
Armor, like, holy crap.
Yeah, had quite a few stacks of the Astral Spirit as well, so looking very good there in the mid game. If that Stone Gaze gets off, I believe it's a full wipe for Scary Faces, but they do lose Quista there, and Shadowway also going down. Either way, he'll pick up a Ghost Scepter of his own, so Shadowway not too worried about dying off now, and he's been able to get off quite a few impactful graves, so him staying up will bode well for Scary Faces. Eknar going to drop an Observer Ward. It was scouted out, however, and it probably will be dewarded promptly hereafter.
So, alright, like, that fight was insane. That was all over the place. Like, General ended up, like, spawning and zipping all the way back from mid, losing all his mana, and, oh boy. Let's see, are they looking for Roshan now? But they might try to bait this out. Let's see. Ward on the high ground. There's a sentry drop down there. There's no vision here, so SFZ should be feeling okay to not have Roshan stolen from them. What else?
Yeah, maybe a smoke up here from these three from SFZ, State 21, along with Shadowway and Eknart. They are going to smoke as 3, perhaps going to bait out Quista in this bot lane. Doesn't look like anyone's going to bite for the time being, but they'll go into the mid looking for some fruit, and there will be a TP to the off lane from Delirium looking to defend up this tier 1 for the time being. If they walk up high ground, they may find Arc, and the hook is just gonna land on a creep, unfortunately. Well shot there from Eknard, however, he does grab the creep. Perhaps needed to wait an extra second for that. Not sure if they're even privy to the fact that that hook was there. Jump in, clap, State 21, and they'll bring down Breezy with relative ease. He'll drop the Mystic Flare as he dies off, but easy pick off. Not the biggest death for DT, but either way, still a good kill.
My friend. Dismember onto Senra though. They're gonna get some good damage. A good swap out, but it's in the clap, and he's losing armor fast. And, State 21 has no problem just chopping him down. And Amba stuck in the trees, blinked on, and alright. Easy kills.
This Dazzle is just working out extremely well for Scary Face. He's been able to keep up Eknart more times than he's died. And 1, 3, and 8 on the Pudge. Don't want him to die as often as he has, but been involved in 9 of the 15 kills thus far. As General does pick off State 21 in the top lane, and probably revealing his Orchid there is a very nice solo kill for the Storm Spirit. He'll build up 1,300 experience off that one.
Yeah, that was a crazy amount of experience. Arc is doing the famed Healing Ward and Roshan strat. The only thing is his Healing Ward is only level 2, so he gets bashed up a few times, and that's like all of his health gone, yeah, so. Already going in with low health, and Roshan just hits way too hard, so he's got to back out.
Yeah, even with the Max Blade Dance, unable to take him down there. He'll farm up some neutrals for the time being, as you said. A couple levels too low in the Healing Ward. Yeah, they can definitely roach with the Meepo here. Senra not picked up too much in the way of item progression. He does have his Blink now alongside the Aghanim, so he will be able to blink into the pit unbeknownst to the side of SFZ. But Eknart is sitting on the high ground. He actually just whiffs a hook. And unfortunately, that's going to be a Roshan going Senra's way, presumably. Delirium going to look to scout things out, but he may be Omni-slashed up by Arc. They are going to split it up, though. Mystic Flare is going to whiff completely as well. And the hook is going to be just short as Senra picks up the Aegis. So DT able to get a Roche and disengage completely. So very nice little win for them. Also, General pushing the tier 1 in the top lane. And at the time being, and there's 3 TPs available from SFZ. They will expend at least one of them. That's Quista. He's going to get Orchided up instantly, but he'll Manta away from that, get the Mystic Snake off onto General. He's pretty low on mana now. State 21 looking to flank him from the side, but General has an invisibility rune at the ready, and he's actually going to look to re-engage on Quista, but he may walk around and find State 21 here. Eknart able to deny up the tower, so definitely a small win there for SFZ. General still hanging around here. State 21's blinked in. Will he look to go on him? Not sure that he has enough mana to find this kill by himself.
No way. There's no way, especially if he dodges anything. Like, they can't do it. Just gotta shadow him, I guess. Like, see if he's trying to bait or something like that. But
Viz gonna expire now, and General's gonna reveal himself. No, he'll walk around the fog, and he will have the clear vision to see Quista. State 21 gonna be able to just walk away from this one. Actually, he may scout out General.
No, he's not gonna blink clap or anything like that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're willing to go in on this Storm Spirit. A little bit of a standoff in the top lane, but General has absolutely no support. He needs to be careful here. He's picked up his soul ring now. Isn't too far off of that Bloodstone. Is only about 200 gold away from that. Delirium gonna scout him out with the Yules. The Echo Stomp is there as well. The hook and the Dismember, and very well played. Clap gonna finish him off from State 21. Arc is here, no Omni Slash at available, but the poofs are there onto Eknart. Early Grave, the Weave's gonna go out on many. Stone Gaze is there, big Shadow Wave as well. They'll be able to Cyclone up the Vengeful Spirit. Meepo goes down early. Anba gonna drop really quickly here. Meepo comes back into the fray. Dazzle gonna get Earthbinded up, but he'll get the Grave off. The poofs won't be there. Cena gonna go down. Ultra kill going the way of the Brewmaster, and everything going wrong for DT there. 5 for 1 is the trade. Overall, 6,700 experience swing and about really 4K in the way of net worth going the way of Scary Faces. And at this point, the Meepo almost becoming irrelevant. Senra has picked up a Ultimate Orb on the way to presumably what
it's not that he's irrelevant, it's that the answers from SFZ are just way too much. Clap, Drunken Haze, Stone Gaze, and Split, and like the Astral Spirit with Natural Order just destroys him. Weave destroys him. Like, there's just so many good answers from SFZ right now. Like, this Meepo can't do anything. Like, Shallow Grave, he can't break that. The Axe was banned away, so the Dazzle's even more effective. He can't chop down the Shallow Grave. And oh god, like, SFZ are playing this really, really well.
Yeah, they drafted it well, and they're playing it well at this point for sure.
Yeah. It's considering also that the Meepo's level 17. Like, he is the highest level in the game, but they're catching up. Like, it's really rare to see that a Meepo isn't like dominantly ahead in the XP at least. But
yeah, much like a Naga Siren or an Alchemist wants to be ahead in GPM, a Meepo wants to be far and ahead in terms of experience, and he is farming decently, but in terms of item progression hasn't found too much at all. He will pick up the Void Stone now, still needs that Mystic Staff on the way to his Hex, but he's quite a ways away off that. Postured up pretty aggressively, farming up the Radiant jungle. Doesn't look like he'll be punished immediately for it though. Quista may rotate down and find him out, but he does have the main Meepo by the Ancients and will poof back all of his Meepos now, so he will be safe for the time being. Roshan still not up for quite a while. Aegis would have expired in a minute, but taken down top lane, and they will do some warding perhaps from Eknart. Yep, just gonna drop one on the cliff. Actually, that was already there, so he was fishing for a hook, but everyone backing off from the side of DT.
I kind of want to say that like Scotty would be a little bit better here instead of the sheep, at least for this early part. But I guess sheeping somebody, like sheeping Shed away is probably the best option.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
You can get off.
Yeah, definitely. If he's able to sheep the Dazzle, they may actually end up finding an engagement here. Delirium may be scouted out by General with this invisibility rune, but it looks like he'll just bait out Arc in this top lane and wait for some support to come for this tier 2 tower before he initiates. Invisibility gonna expire now as he looks to find this regen, and he will find that top very good rune onto the Storm Spirit.
Alright. I mean, they're not really making any progress either. Like, Senra spots out a stack camp, they're trying to zip around with General, but nothing's going to come out of it. Like, they can't do anything.
Yep, State 21 here to support up Eknard. He'll blink to the high ground looking for any support for the Storm Spirit. Won't find anyone home, and it looks like they'll just allow Senra to continue farming, but meanwhile, Medusa farming as well for Quista. He's picked up the full Manta, Perseverance there on his way to a Lincoln's as well. And he's looking very good. Going to be able to farm up this triple stack of Ancients pretty easily with Delirium here with the Natural Order.
Yeah, look at that. Just destroys these. The Natural Order doesn't really affect a lot of the creeps there in the jungle, but or the Ancient stack, but whatever. Mana Style's really good against the Meepo here too, especially for Medusa because they have the split shots. Another fun thing.
Yeah, spread damage carry of Medusa definitely good against the Meepo. Either way, General gonna look to put some chip damage into this tier 1. He's definitely the most survivable of the DT heroes with the ability to zip away in the ball under the ball lightning. Eknart is gonna look to find him here though. Hook will be just off the mark, and he does have the clear vision available to him from these static remnants, so he is well aware of where these heroes are for SFZ. Meanwhile, Arc has found some farm, 2,800 gold on him in addition to his Yasha and his Mask of Madness, and he's looking to push in this bottom lane, but he will be met by the Dusa here, and Quista gonna farm up this wave with relative ease.
And she is like about 200 gold away from her Lincoln Sphere, and then she wants to Fear Silence swap, anything like that. General's still kind of screwing around in the Radiant side jungle, so I mean, creating some space. Senra has really not been inhibited at all for the past few minutes, so that's good for them.
Yep, not too far off that Mystic Staff either, so Hex will be ready fairly soon, but the smoke is looking to rectify those issues you just spoke of, and Senra may be found out here. He's going to poof into lane. Hook is going to be shot, probably not scouted out, however, and they may see him in lane fairly soon here as he encroaches towards the creeps. He will poof down though to the south and will be in the bottom lane safe for the time being, so a little bit of a wasted rotation for Scary Faces, and perhaps they do look to find this tier 2 in the bottom. Only 2 TPs available for State 21 and Delirium. Quista just picked up one as well from the Courier.
So let's see. Senra's taking control of pretty much both sides of the jungles, and he's really close, 200 gold away from his Mystic Staff there. So once he has that, that's pretty much where we can see the sheep plays come in. But I don't know if it'll be enough. I'll just really wait to see how it goes. And I mean, Breezy, they gotta feel like this is a bait. There's no way this isn't a bait. Yeah. So there's the slow coming on in from the concussive shot. Here comes Arc. Oh god. Just pops the Manta Style and just starts beating away, and he can't do anything. At least they get the Stone Gaze out with just the Omni Knight, not the Omni Knight, with the Juggernaut.
Yeah, they do bait out the Stone Gaze, but no Roshan up for another minute and a bit, so nothing immediately to take off of that. And And Eknar's hook going to be a little bit short here. He's been a little bit ineffective thus far in the game. I've seen him with 7 stacks of Flush Heap under 15 minutes. So having 6 stacks at this point, he's not been the most effective. But he is level 11 now, has been able to be the focus of a lot. And that's won them a lot of engagements with the shallow grave. So either way, still panned out decently for Scary Faces.
You could say that. I mean, like the Hex is online, the Scotty's gonna be coming out soon, and he's trying to set up for ganks. Like he wants to get some squishy targets, and maybe Delirium's the one. Gets the Yules, the stop doesn't connect, they get to dismember, but here comes the Meepo train coming on through. Earthsplitter connects as well, but it's not gonna be enough. Oh, Chalgering keeps him alive for just a bit. They have the weave on top of this Senra. He's doing what he can to pick up a kill. He will trade his life for it though, so a 2-for-1 in general as well. Gonna zip away, and okay, that's not a bad trade there for DT. They'll take that any day.
It's actually a pretty good one because the Pudge was able to deny himself from Rot. They're going to find Anba as well. And with a couple of right clicks from the Drunken Baller, that ends up being a 3-for-1 essentially, as the Pudge is able to deny himself. And overall, good trade for Scary Face. So once again, the Grave keeping him up until the Rot ticks him down, and they bring down Senra. So looking good.
So dirty.
Yeah, it is. It's really cheese, but either way, looking good. Roshan about to spawn. Unfortunately for Ark, he walks in about 10 seconds too early, but not sure that he would be able to take this. At this point, he should be able to solo it without even having the Meepo there. 10 stacks on the Bloodstone, though, for General. He's looking pretty good on the Storm Spirit, being able to get out of that engagement top lane safely.
Yep. I mean, like, the Meepo can sell the Roshan at any point. He just needs a Scotter, really. Like, he just doesn't have the health pools to really be fighting these fights right now. 2,000 health is really easy to take away, especially when you lose all your armor, so... I mean, he should be looking to go for Roshan next, unless he was just pinged out there. I don't think he was. That was a different color. But, I don't know. Reese's also been solo farming down bot here and hasn't died yet, so that's another interesting thing that's been going down.
Yeah, it looks like he'll build into either a Force or a Rod of Atos for him on the Skywrath. That's something to know. Delirium's pretty close to a Hex of his own. Still needs about a 2,300 gold for that, but has picked up the Ultimate Orb and the Voidstone, and if he gets that up, that'll be a very big pickup coming out from the 3 position for Scary Faces. Quista, looking pretty fat at this point, is on the top of the net worth, but not by too much of a margin. Should be a little bit more for a Medusa jump in from General. Orchid is going to pop the Lincoln's hook, will be just off the mark from Eknard, and that'll sound the retreat here for DT. Meepo farming the bot lane right now, and perhaps they group up for a push.
He doesn't have a Meepo near mid right now, so this is the time for them to push. Yeah, they'll weave up on themselves and go for a quick tier 2. There is Cliff available to delay him for just a bit. Hook comes through, doesn't connect, and Eknar might be in some trouble. He gets pulled back, but no. Looks like they just retreat out. General will make that call. And they lose a tier 2 from DT, but SFZ, Senra really hasn't pushed up as hard. Like, he hasn't even started hitting this tier 2 yet. This TP gets cancelled. Whoa, they're just going to commit for a high ground push. Wow.
Hook is going to miss from the low ground. General going to zip in very far.
What the hell was that?
I don't know what that was.
Did he TP? Oh, I think
yeah, he must have TP'd while he was zipping, and then a little bit of buggy animation there. But Senra looking to push, and he's a little bit slow here. Primal Split going to be committed. Boulder Toss does go out onto Breezy. They'll bring down the Skywrath Mage first. Swap back onto Ark. Will keep him alive. General has zipped forward, but a Yule Scepter used defensively by Delirium will keep him safe for now. Quista banging away at the buildings, but meanwhile, they do have the Meepo banging away at their own. Senra pushing pretty quickly. He's going to drop this tier 3 fairly soon, and the TP was canceled from Quista by the Omni Slash. Shadowway using a Grave on himself. Quista's going to get zipped in. They're going to bring down this Dazzle. Earthsplitter does hit on General, but Quista's going to be the next to fall, and Senra's brought down Stake 21 in the bot lane. Instant buyback from Quista's Medusa. Tier 3 getting very low here, but Senra probably going to have to back out. He does blink away. He'll poof away the rest of his Meepos, and a very nice little engagement for DT. They do lose their range racks, but they force a buyback out on Quista. They get a 4-for-1 trade, only losing the Skywrath Mage, and they do get a tier 3 in the bottom lane as well.
That's not bad at all. That is a really good trade, losing only the range racks, not the melee, and now they can look to set up for Roshan. No Brew, no Dazzle, and lots of damage to go out.
Yeah, they'll bring this down very quickly. That'll be a second life for the Meepo, presumably, here, and that is very good. Bodes well for DT's chances to go high ground here. There's no buyback for 6 minutes for Quista as well. He's picked up a Talisman of Evasion casual here, so will be a little bit more tanky, but either way, they certainly can look to at least push out this last outer tier tower with the Aegis in hand, and the Brewmaster still down for 15 seconds.
And so they find this pick here. There is a hook to go in onto Anva. Okay, so a solo kill comes out from Eknar. General is just shadowing them just a bit with the invis there. I believe they know his invis now. Nope, looking for Eknar. Blink forward, net. Oh, there's a shallow grave again though. Let's see, he's got the rot taken away. There's the stone gaze coming through. Not all the meeples have turned around though. Look at that damage coming in. This is just destroying it with that. There's the Omni Slash coming through though, but just no damage actually. It looks like from it. The Yule Scepter to keep General off him. Another blink comes on in that. Quista though. Drunken Haze is going to make the miss quite a bit. This Declare isn't doing that much damage. Shallow Grave. Quista just sitting there tanking it. They killed the Meepo. What the hell? Breezy now going to go up with the high ground. Oh, not going to be able to get in time. General chased down by the pandas. The Storm Panda should be able to catch up with the Tornado here. Sits on a high ground. He has a TP and he is gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
still sitting on 14 Bloodstone charges, but they bring down the Juggernaut, they bring down the Meepo, and once again, Pudge denied himself in that engagement. So cheeky, unfortunate. Hex comes out now as well for the Titan, and things looking very good here. Meepo, no buyback for 40 seconds, losing that Aegis. And Quista doesn't have the buyback as well, so it doesn't look like they'll look to pressure high ground. A little bit worried about that, but perhaps
Shadow Wave pick up an Aghanim Scepter. What the hell? That is so good.
yeah, that's gone totally unbeknownst to me. He's going to find his level 16 as well. That level 3 weave, you see how much damage he did. He crit for like 500 on 4 meepos at once for Quista.
Yeah.
And looking very good in the mid lane with the natural order and the weave against this meepo. As you mentioned, he's just not able to stay up long enough to be influential in these fights. And they dropped the Aegis pretty quickly. They Yulesed up the Storm as he came in, or cycloned him perhaps from the Primal Split, and then just brought down the Meepo once again before General was able to do anything. Meepo will respawn now, and he has taken the top position on the net worth. 2 ultimate orbs ready, as well as the Oov, so he's only 800 away from the full Scotty, and that'll help him out.
You're gonna be losing 36 armor with just level 2 weave. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and the AC now comes out fully for State 21 as well,
Jesus.
so another 5 armor reduction there. And
Who has armor on their team? Yeah, they're gonna have no armor at all. They're gonna have negative armor actually. Oh, that's crazy. And weave too. That's like potential for like minus 40 armor.
Yeah.
You're gonna be hitting so freaking hard. Holy cow.
As this Medusa, definitely. So perhaps she picks up a Daedalus of her own. She will probably complete the Butterfly beforehand, but if that item choice ever comes out, we'll be hitting disgustingly hard. And
I think she still needs a Scotty.
Yeah. Definitely. So she's been able to be kept up though more often than not with this Grave, so I wouldn't mind the choice. But yeah, either way, when you're using negative armor already, definitely just staying up and getting more right clicks off is probably more worth it than going for sort of a glass cannon type of build. General, gonna posture up in the trees here looking for a pick with the clear vision from his static remnant, but he's not gonna find anyone. They're gonna look to bait out Senra, and there is movement thus far from SFZ, but a little bit tentative here, and they're not going to find much. Eknart looking to find something. That'll be Senra. He's going to get scouted out here. The Yule Scepter is there. Echo Stomp should be here as well, and it's actually a little bit late, but it will catch. There's the Hex and the hook, and Senra, he's going to fall here, and that's 70 seconds without buyback. So we'll see if they're able to push out these lanes enough. They are all pushed towards the side of Scary Faces at the moment. General doing some split pushing in the bot lane, and Arc pushing in the mid lane.
He has the Scotty too, like fully completed. He's got the orbs in base, and that's a pretty big pickup for him. But again, it just looks like he just gets hooked in, just dies. One of the meepos gets soloed out or stone gazed. He's just screwed at that point. Like, oh boy. And if they get a good weave here, this is level 3 weave now too for Dazzle. Like, on just meepo alone, it's worth it. So we'll see.
Yeah, Lincoln Sphere completed for the Storm now, and he'll be a little bit more survivable, but he really hasn't been the focus of everything. The meepo surely has over him, and he's been able to be dropped quite a few times. There's something we mentioned in the draft. The Pudge, pretty good against a meepo. Speaking of Pudge, he's going to get an Ancient Sealed up here, and right-click down with the Mystic Flare. Eknart finally going to fall. Luckily for him, he just bought a gem, but it wasn't ferried out on the Courier. Still is on the Courier, so he could have fed over a gem there. State 21 going to have to pop his BKB and split mid. And Arc gonna get the Blade Fury off, but it will expire shortly here, and the boulder toss will be there. He will be forced back, however. Breezy is in a pretty precarious position. General's popped a haste rune. He's gonna try and get away, and he will be just fine doing that. So they do bait out the Primal Split for nothing at this point, and Bud doing some split pushing in the bottom lane, but not too worried about your structures going down to a Vengeful Spirit here. So probably shouldn't find much off that. Quista rotating down, looking to find the Venge, but they're going to walk past each other on opposite sides of the trees. And the Venge should be just fine for the time being. Senra also here with one Meepo in the Radiant jungle, can look to engage here. 40 minutes in, 27-20 is your score for Scary Faces. And they will Yules up and Buzz Venge, and he'll get Echo Stomped. Mystic Snake, he's going to get right click down here from Quista. And a nice easy pick there. General with some clear vision is going to look to scout things out. Quista is going to find him, but they don't have any reliable immediate lockdown for this Storm. General should be just fine for the time being. They really need to kill off this Storm Spirit. He's standing in a fountain with 14 charges on his Bloodstone.
I mean, as long as he doesn't lose those Bloodstone charges for now, I mean, try to get a pick off here and there and stack them up a little bit more. But, he can't kill anybody solo.
Yeah.
Like, he is having a tough time finding kills for himself.
Yeah, Dazzle's never really been found out on his own, and with the Orchid, he's the only one he'd be able to kill off, but still, with the Ghost Scepter, Shadow A, pretty survivable here, and the full Butterfly is being ferried out now to Quista, and he's going to be ever the more tanky and hit harder as well. Mid lane, tier 2 is being pushed in by General, but tier 2 in the offlane going to be dropped a lot quicker. TP's back are there as well from Quista, and General's going to zip forward, looking for Delirium. He's going to have to get the hell out of there, though, as Quista returns to the fray, as well as Shadow A. In general may find the Courier here, but nothing on it. He does find the Courier, so nice little pick off, influx of gold, 175 gold going the way of all the 5 heroes on DT, but the hook is going to be just short from Eknart.
I mean, they just keep trying to chase General. I mean, that's kind of meh. But this race between the Meepo and the Medusa is shaping up to be really interesting, because Medusa's always ahead now, currently by 2k. And I mean, she's got her full Butterfly, so Flutter's available for the next fight. And you said Daedalus. I want to say Scotty. Like, yeah, I think the Scotty, the kiting and the combat stats are pretty good. Daedalus, don't get me wrong, is nice. The crit is amazing, especially for the low armor targets. You can see like a 2,000 crit or something like that. But I don't know. I'm just more of a man for stats. I like stats more. Yeah, the slow is very nice regardless, especially piercing through things like the Blade Fury on the Arc Juggernaut as well. He's picked up a Diffusal Blade of his own. We haven't spoke much about his item progression, and he does have 4,000 gold as well, so he can upgrade that to the 2nd level, or maybe finish off his Manta style at this point with the casual Yasha already. Top lane, though, they're going to Yules up Breezy. Going to be an easy kill on the Skywrath Mage, and not the biggest loss for DT, but certainly a nice pick off, and perhaps... Yeah. Can't have that happening. You can't have that happen in this kind of game. Just getting picked off like that. He's been solo farming lanes, like side lanes, pretty well, but you just can't afford to get picked off like that. Now they can try to break high ground, and the Aegis did expire. Or no, the Aegis was killed off of Senra last time, so we got, what, actually a couple seconds till Roshan's back up, so... Yeah, so if Senra is able to scout this out, he can probably solo it before there's any significant structural damage. And speaking of structural damage, bottom lane General looking to split push in here. Shadow A not going to find him, though, as he doesn't have any disable. And once again, General being a nuisance across the map. And with all those TPs back, perhaps Senra looks to retreat into the Roshan pit as they clean up the wave top. Senra probably going to scout things out now. He picks up the bounty rune. He's going to walk in and find the Roshan waiting for him. He will poof out, however. Just going to scout things out for now, knowing that the TP's back. There are looming heroes nearby for Scary Faces, and it's going to be scouted out as well by the Radiant side. Just throw out the Spirit. The Spirit's going to be really good at dissuading them from doing Roshan. What else we got? We got Diffusal on Arc on the Juggernaut. He's got a Demon Edge, so looking for MKB next. This is going to be a pretty late game, not gonna lie.
Yeah, we've popped in the pit here. Quista melting this Roshan. Mystic Flare's going to throw it. It's going to do absolutely nothing. Splitting between two targets. Two tanky targets at that. And they're going to find an easy Aegis for Quista here. Top lane is being pushed in, so they will have to TP back and commit to that. But they should be just fine to do so. Quista is opting for the Scotty, as you mentioned. 2 ultimate orbs in the stash. Also 1,200 gold available, so just needs about another 300 for that Orb of Venom. And things looking very good now for the Dusa.
Yep. General's also... You know, he's committed to just not being anywhere near his team at this point, just completely split pushing away. I mean, eventually they'll need him. He's got a TP too, but staying this far apart from your team can engage the kills, so he's got to be really careful. Titan spots him out. General.
Hex is here from State 21. He can blink Hex him.
Oh, no.
He's going to be able to zip away. Yeah, he would have had to pop that with Haze, yeah. So it would have been very difficult to do for sure. But 2 hexes now, one on the Titan, one on the Brewmaster, available for Scary Faces, and that bodes really well for their next few team fights. Scotty is out here for Quista. That Mystic Snake going to pop General's Lincolns. He's going to have to zip out. There will be some rotations in from the rest of the squad of DT. They will place down a decent vision observer ward there. Not going to give them too much, however. And perhaps they need to clear those trees out with a ball lightning in order to get some value out of that one. Either way, Quista a little bit precariously positioned here, but should be just fine.
With Aegis now, they should look to clean up that mid racks, like 5-man push up, screw side lanes, keep TPs, and you should be good to go. But it's tougher said than done, so I guess just let them keep playing slow and keep letting them look for pickoffs.
And Mystic Flare drop mid.
Yeah,
just to tickle the Dusa. Probably would.
I did 100 damage. I got him, guys.
Yeah. We got him. Either way, they're gonna march up mid, as you mentioned, and certainly warranted at this point with the Aegis in hand. And Quista looking very fat. Boots of Travel picked up now by Senra. He's gonna TP to the bot lane and look to start split pushing, but they will have to pop the glyph here. And this will just delay the inevitable. This Rax is going to go down. We've popped on the entire lineup of Scary Faces. Zip forward from General. He's not going to find much. And he will zip out. He actually gets hexed here. Actually, that's Ark's Juggernaut. And the Stomp is going to whiff completely. Senra is way too far out from the base to do anything significant at this point. Hook is going to whiff. Quista going to continue to put some punishment into this tier 3. Standing on the front lines with that Aegis. And this should be an easy set of racks. Senra waiting to TP back. He does have the availability of the Boots of Travel. Stone Gaze is going to get popped. Senra is in the trees. And the Skywrath Mage will drop to the right clicks from Quista. Meanwhile, General is going to get picked off here. That's a big kill finally on the Storm Spirit. He's going to respawn quickly though. He actually buys back. State 21 is going to get brought down to the Meeple. Earth Splitter hits on 3. And Shadoway looks like he'll be picked off. He gets the Weave off, but he'll get the Grave off beforehand somehow. Quista chopping into the General here, as well as Ark. Ark dropping very low. And the swap back onto Shadoway. He's still in the trees, and a Rampage goes the way of Quista. He'll bring down General as well. Continuing on, and the Shadoway finally picked off by the Juggernaut. He'll get another one, and Senra will finally be able to bring him down, but that's only the Aegis. Buyback status, everyone has no buyback except for this Juggernaut. Quista dropping fairly low, however, and does have the Mana Shield up now, but will fall again to Senra. Gem on the deck as well.
Triple Rampage. Holy crap. That's like the first time I've actually ever seen that. Quad buyback for DT. I want to kind of type out that it was a triple, but I'm not going to. But that's crazy. That's insane.
6,200 gold up on the Dusa after that engagement.
Just ignore the Meepo and just kill everybody else. That's crazy, dude. 4 people bought back as well. Juggernaut, like you said, the other one with buyback, and oh god, that is a nightmare for TT. Holy crap! If she had a Divine Rapier there, like she would have killed.
And she has enough for one at this point, so that'll be huge, especially if they're able to keep Delirium up in these engagements. He was one of the earlier ones to fall in the Elder Titan, so definitely some good focus from DT there. Hex comes out now from General, and he's just going to find an illusion of State 21s here, but 7 Bloodstone charges on him, dying twice, dying back. They're pretty detrimental to his ability to keep those up, but either way, BKB is actually going to be the choice from Dusa. Interesting one. I mean, you can't really hate on it. Yeah. No, it doesn't. It stops the Storm Spirits toolkit, I guess, as well as the silence from the sky. So perhaps he wants to save the Manta for that. But yeah, Earthbind does pierce spell immunity, if I am not mistaken. Actually, it does not. So yeah, it does. BKB does stop Earthbind. So that's a nice one there. And he will be able to get the Stone Gaze off pretty reliably as well. So can't really hate on the BKB choice. Probably would have liked to see something like a Daedalus instead. But it looks like Arc will build into an MKB, and he'll finish that off to finally be able to right-click into this Dusa if he's able to survive at all in these engagements.
Yeah, that's the big question. BKB picked up for the ET as well, so really scared of this magic damage that's provided by the DT lineup. Zip forward, they find State, Silence with a player, but he wants to fight. BKB is up, Dress is Drunken Haze, and Breezy is just dead. No problem. Boom, boom. There you go.
Yeah, natural order, easy kill there. Chops him down very convincingly. Senra pushing out the off lane here. All the lanes pushing in, so that's one thing going well for DT. They can't have an immediate high ground push from Scary Faces off of these pick-offs as they're been pretty diligent with keeping the lanes in. But either way, things still looking very good for Scary Faces. Taking a look at the metrics, actually the gold lead is very small, just under 5k, experience about 7,500. So still a very winnable game for Senra and crew for DT. He's actually picking up a Butterfly of his own, it seems, on the Meepo, and no MKB for Quista, opting for that BKB instead. So a little bit of a too much of a defensive build for my taste from Quista. Either way, Arc is looking to find someone out with that Omni Slash. He does have the MKB now, so Drunken Brawler not going to help out State 21 if he can find him, but they will walk up the high ground and be just fine.
Yep. Again, I said this earlier, but we're in for a long game. And I mean, at this point, it could go anywhere, but I'm kind of favoring the Medusa right now. She is too freaking strong. Eventually, maybe he'll think about getting rid of the Lincolns, and or maybe just get rid of the BKB and go for more damage, because he'll need it. Like, it seems like it's just really core to get the Relic. Yeah.
If not, I mean, could grab up an MKB at the least, knowing that now they will see a Butterfly build for Senra. So, General going to zip out mid. He'll be just fine, trying to push things in, but Quista going to stand in his face. Arc may be caught out bot lane. He's going to find out Eknard, actually, but the Ghost Scepter is there from Eknard. He will defusal it off, but the Grave is there as well, and the Dismember will be there. Eknard may fall here, and he's going to back off promptly there after very well played. Arc going to get swapped back, however. Very nice play from Anba. And Anba will be able to make it out himself, actually, the Vengeful Spirit. And Breezy gonna get chopped down? No, he makes it away.
Where's the Yules? Delirium had his Yules up. That's weird.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't find anything off of that. And TP's back to their tier 2 in the mid lane. Waves continuing to be pushed in here from DT, and they're not able to extend too far out past their base for Scary Faces unless they look for a GG push. And 2,900 gold on Quista. Maybe he looks to opt for his next item buyback. At this point, 1,800 gold, so has more than enough reliable gold, or just about enough reliable gold for that buyback. Will be actually an E-Blade for Senra, so no Butterfly build for him. He's going to look for a lot of poof damage onto Quista, so definitely the BKB is going to work out now that the E-Blade has been purchased.
Yeah, now I really like the BKB pickup, so oh boy. I mean, they should be trying to look to just push where the open racks are on the bot side, and since Medusa has Boost of Travel, just leave her down there and have her just bots in wherever they decide to push or go or do whatever. Let's see how much gold. 3,600. Still doesn't want to sell anything. And I mean, oh boy, it gets to that really awkward stage where neither team really wants to just throw. they don't want to like really overextend themselves and be like, crap, we just screwed up our whole game. And also the buyback timing too is a big thing. Like DT don't have 4 buybacks, so
yeah. Definitely so. This late in the game, you really need to be diligent with your buyback gold and cooldowns. General is going to be a little bit in a precarious position, but there is a sheep out onto Arc. Nice swap back from Amba. He'll pay with his life for it, though, as the hit up ground is successful for Quista. Roshan not going to spawn for another minute and a half, though, and they're going to have to defend their base as General is here pretty deep. There is no Lincoln's pop for him, and he'll be just fine for the time being. Rotation's back, though, from Shadow A. He's going to blink forward. He's not going to find much. He will find Senra, but he'll be able to poof out in due time. And unfortunately for DT, Roche not up for another minute. So they are playing pretty well with Scary Faces here.
What the hell is that split? Alright, so Tornado finds Skyra? No, just go straight for the jug. Alright, leave him up there for 8 seconds and he responds. I don't think the team can get there in time. Yeah, no, he's gonna spin out. That's a wasted split.
Yeah, totally wasted primal split there. Not the biggest cooldown this late. It doesn't do much damage, but the control is very nice. And 4200 up on Stake 21. Perhaps looks to build into his next item fairly soon. He could use a Vlad's for the team. Wouldn't be bad to give the Dusa some lifesteal there, but other than that, not much in the way of item progression. It looks like Eknart will build a BKB of his own as well, picking up that Ogre Club, 2200 gold in his pockets, but looks like SFZ will finally look to finish off this mid lane, actually drawing towards the bot lane as the units come in, looking for these Raxes, but it's going to be a while before they're accompanied by their wave, and the backdoor protection will be there. For a
they don't
bit.
need it. There's no backdoor protection. Oh wait, yes there is. What?
Yeah.
Oh, the creep's died in the base already. Alright. Weird TP zip again coming in from you know, General, I guess. This time though he can't do it. He'll try to initiate onto the state. He pops the beat.
He'll get X'd up.
Okay, he'll just buy back the Skyrim Mage Strides too. A good Earth Splitter. Senra is doing what he can to take on Delirium, but it was Shallow Grave, keep him alive, man. And then Meepo's dead. He buys back instantly after that, and this is looking like it should be game. Quista, no, just backs off. Oh, Earthbind, wow, that didn't hit. Okay, we'll short on that, but I guess they forced out 2 buybacks and they're happy with that. They get a range racks too.
Yeah, they get a range racks. They force out a couple of
3
buybacks.
buybacks. Oh no, it's Delirium.
That's the ET. So buyback status is only 2 and there are 3 total. 1 on the Jug, 1 on the Medusa, 1 on the Pudge.
This might be bad. They're going for this Roshan for the Aegis, and oh boy, Quista's gonna leave the charge and go on in. There's the ET, and who picks it up? Juggernaut.
Actually gave it to the Juggernaut here, so Stone Gaze not available for Quista, but he's chopping down into Senra.
Stun him up, they got the stun, he can't do anything. Look how fast they chopped at the Juggernaut.
2500 crit coming out from Quista, and Arc gonna fall here, and this is more or less GG at this point. Buyback available for the Juggernaut, but not for the Meepo. 2500 crit coming out from Quista. Daedalus, who... I guess you don't need that with the Natural Order and the Weave available there, as well as the AC from State 21. They're going to pick off this lane of Rax with relative ease without Senra up on the Meepo. Concussive Shot goes out onto Delirium. Hook is not going to land, and they will finish off this lane of Rax. That's 2 lanes down. Tier 4 also down. They will probably just look to throne it here. With the Meepo down, they've noticed he obviously doesn't have buyback, and should be a fairly easy task for Scary Faces. Dragging this one out to 56 minutes, but they do win. Arc gonna probably fall before the Ancient does, and he will. Stone Gaze gonna go out, celebratory one from Quista, and 2-0 for Scary Faces, guys. That's a very well played game from them. 2 Medusa games, and dirty Medusa pickers they are, but this will be their first 2-0 series in the lower bracket so far, and a very convincing one, and they'll go on to face the winner of BBC versus HOG. I am MoreRagePlz, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, joined by EGAD Cast. We are SLTV. EGAD, any last thoughts on the series?
I don't know, just really good. Quista's
yeah.
His Medusa was great.
Yeah, really flawless, excellent decision making, great play from Shadowway on the Dazzle for sure in game 2. And thanks so much for joining us, guys, at 2 p.m. Eastern or 20 CET. We'll have the next best of 3 coming up right here on HTV1. That's Weehaw and BBC up against House of Gamers and Excalibur. Weehaw and Excalibur are actually going to be future teammates over in the Dota Pit Season 3, so will be interesting to see them face off against each other one last time. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back in about 40 minutes. We'll leave the stream up probably until the next series. If you like the cast, you can follow us over at MRP_Dota on Twitter and at EGAD, EGAD casts. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll be back shortly.